first MMA bout of the night. And here's Chuck Walker to give you the rundown, because Anthony Marlowe and Kane
Laperriere, Kane
exactly.
Laperriere.
You know a lot about, you've done a lot of homework. What do you think about these two?
I have done some research. Now, I want to say this. Anthony Marlowe is coming in from Madisonville, Kentucky. He trains in a very well-established training facility called Hayes MMA Madisonville. That's Western Kentucky, sitting on a coal mine. Those guys are tough. He's walking in here right now, but Dan, I'm going to tell you, of all the fighters we see tonight, it's going to be hard-pressed to find a more talented person than Jackson's own Kane Laperriere, coming in 5'9", 145 pounds, 22-year-old kid, fighting out of Hub City MMA, a very respected and also up-and-coming MMA program, not just in our town, not just in our state, but in our region of the country. Hub City MMA is getting some of the best fighters, pulling them from 5 states so far.
Well, Chuck, I've heard a lot of good things about that organization you just mentioned. And you say it's fairly new, this training, and the name of it again, Chuck, is what?
Hub City MMA, and I say it's fairly new, Dan. MMA is fairly new to our area, but these guys, there's a couple of programs around here that are taking this very seriously. Ryan Collins does such a phenomenal job of putting these fights on throughout our town, all throughout the year. But Kane Laperriere, be expecting to see this guy make huge.
And it's Kane Laperriere with Hub City MMA. Right?
From Jackson, Tennessee. He's 5'9", 145, 22 years old.
Youth. Fighting's a young man's game. That's why I have Bio-TE with Dr. Shannon Bone. My testosterone, and I don't mind telling you, is 1,200. And I can... Well, I start throwing windmills, also known as haymakers. Chuck, you know that about me.
You do. Matter of fact, when you hired me, it's the first thing you did. You hit me and then said, sign here. I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, but that's a guy thing, a locker room thing. And you hit me right back. You hit me right back in the nose, broke my nose, and we laughed about it.
We did.
now Melissa didn't understand. She called 911.
The cops came. We had a good laugh. Everybody was happy.
Oh, man, I tell you, I'm so glad that you and I are together, and Greg Wood. People are so excited to hear Greg Wood back on the air.
One of my favorites. I've listened to Greg Wood for the past 45 years on radio. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, same here, Chuck.
You know, and when Greg...
Let's go down to the ring announcer.
This contest is set for 3 3-minute rounds of MMA action. When the action begins, the man in charge, Jason Aldridge. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 143 pounds, from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, representing Hayes MMA, Anthony Marlowe. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 145 pounds, from Ocala, Florida, representing Hub City MMA, Showtime, Kane Laperriere.
Well, here we go. Richard Malkin, just the ring announcer, doing a great job. And Chuck, what are you pointing out here?
I'm pointing out Laperriere's preparation, the way that he comes into these fights, Dan. I'm intimidated, and we're, 20 feet away, and I end up top.
Is not a great vantage point? We're looking down into the octagon. So Laperriere with Hub City MMA. This is the first MMA bout of the night, and it's Kane Laperriere taking on Anthony Marlowe. Laperriere in the darker colored trunks,
a little bit longer,
and Marlowe is in the blue trunks. So here we go. Now this is a whole different level in it, Chuck.
It absolutely is. And, you know, Laperriere's fighting out of Jackson. This is what I was telling you about Hub City MMA.
Boy.
He hails from Florida. He moved to Jackson to train here at Hub City MMA, Dan.
Now that is saying something. So Marlowe in the blue, and Kane Laperriere with Hub City MMA is in the black trunks with some design on there. Oh, and it's
good fight.
Lindsey
so
Walker going to join us here as well. Lindsay, did you design Laperriere's trunks?
I was wanting to see more robes, honestly. I was very disappointed. I wanted a lot of robes, a lot of, drama.
Chuck's lovely wife.
And also the producer and director of our show. If you want to know why we've had great success the first 2 weeks, you're looking at it. If the camera's on us, it's my wife sitting next to us. Smartest woman I know other than Mary than me.
I sent her a message today. Just boy. Ooh. Now that nearly got him right in the beak, but somehow that was a gnat's hair from connecting right in the beak, and that would have been good night. See you tomorrow, or maybe next weekend. But here is Marlowe now throwing lefts and rights. Laperriere trying to fight his way out of this. And Lindsay, what do you make of this? Because it's dangerous down there, isn't it?
I only know enough to be dangerous.
Oh, boy. And then Laperriere with that roundhouse, he missed, hit the deck. And it was Marlowe saying, ha-ha, kind of did each other.
Well, in Laperriere, one of the things about it, when you kick somebody that hard, and all that force goes in, if it doesn't land somewhere, you can lose your balance.
It's a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
Just like me.
And Lindsay would second that, saying, geez, can I dial it back just a little bit? Chuck brings the heat, doesn't he? You look lovely, Lindsay, in that blue dress.
Thank you so much. One of these boys is from Kentucky, I noticed.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
A little Hoptown. That might be the blue shorts.
Anthony Marlowe. Yeah, he's in the shorty shorts.
The narrator. Now here's Laperriere being pushed back into the corner. And now he goes all Jerry Lawler with a headlock, but it's Marlowe kind of worming it. Not worming, that would be right. He might take that the wrong way, and I could be in trouble in the parking lot later.
I thought Laperriere had a chance there for a choke, underneath choke there on him. He decided to let up. Now you're seeing Marlowe with that choke. If that sets in, if this drops to the ground, if he could drop Laperriere to the ground, Dan, that's going to be a tap.
Well, there's the horn to stop the first round. This has got the makings of a classic. Lindsay Walker, Chuck's wife, is here. Lindsay, now, Chuck said, did you say an underground choke? Is that a real thing?
Well,
I feel like I've seen that, Dan.
You've got rear naked chokes. You've got over the top choke.
Is that real MMA?
Choke. Yeah. I'm a big MMA fan. I watch every single UFC fight. Yeah, so I love these MMA fights. I'm a little bit of a dork, and that's why I thought that when Marlowe gave up his neck on that down and Laperriere had it, he may try to drop to the ground. He may not have loved his positioning there up against the cage. When your back is on the fence, it's hard to drop it down, and so he let him go. But then Marlowe, you saw before there, and Laperriere let it go because he heard the claps of the wood. Laperriere let it go on the back there, and he knew that Laperriere knew that the time was going to run out. They're going to blow the round dead before it happened. But you're seeing two kickboxing styles, right? Two kickboxing styles, but you can mix them MMA. And if you get the right hook on MMA, fight's over.
Lindsay, do you agree?
I guess so, Dan. I don't think I have an option. Well
said, well spoken. Now you're getting it.
Dan, could you please come to our house?
Here we go, round two. That's Kane Laperriere in the black trunks with the, I don't know exactly what that design is on the side, but because I've watched him fight, I say I like it. Anthony Marlowe's in the blue trunks. The roundhouse did not connect, but the wind from that, Chuck, was felt up here.
Laperriere had right before that roundhouse, had a hard jab with his right hand right there on Marlowe. You're seeing Laperriere, he's a tactician. He looks for his openings, Dan.
Yeah, you can tell, and he just whip kicked him right in the hamstring. If you get, I pulled a hamstring before, but it's always been mine.
Rear naked choke here, got him down on the ground. You've got Marlowe down. If he can set this in with his right hand, which he does right here, if he wraps his left leg around him, this will be over. He can't set it in. He's doing a good job. Marlowe does a good job coming up there.
So we've got a couple hundred people online watching. Lindsay, will you share that out, that link? I bet, because you really are the most respected of the three of us. It's not even close.
That's an easy thing. That doesn't impress me, Dan. The fact she's more respected than you and I.
That's just the half of it, though, because that's compared to us, which is not fair, but to everyone else, it's Lindsay is an absolute pleasure. What do you see?
Marlowe has Laperriere's back. Laperriere was able to get up. He's got him in the rear naked choke here. Laperriere slides around to his back now. You're going to see this is when it comes in. You got 2 kickboxing styles, but you got to train him multiple styles. He gets him down on the mat. Now he has him. If he can set his hooks in here and wrap his left leg around and go around his throat and roll back, then you will see a tap out.
Well, so Chuck, you're sloppy. Well, now Chuck is Marlowe. Who right now is in control?
Marlowe is actually in control. He wasn't able to set it, and this is the problem about going for a set. If you miss, your opponent can get up underneath you. That's what you're seeing. You got the right hand around Laperriere now, and he was able
what's
to
just
tap
happened?
him out.
Did he tap out?
He was able to tap him out. Laperriere missed the set.
Now tell me, tell to the untrained eye, what did Marlowe do to force Laperriere to tap out?
Laperriere had his back. He went in for the set. When he did, he missed. Marlowe was able to come around, flip to get to the back of Laperriere, and then he was able to set in the choke for the submission. We saw.
So it was the choke?
It was either a choke. I couldn't see it just right here because of the pole. I couldn't see if it was a choke or if it was an arm lock that had him. It looked like a choke to me from this vantage point up top. 2 really great kickboxing styles. But isn't it funny that it goes down to the ground, goes down to some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, some judo, some whatever you want to call it at the end to get the fight.
I'm impressed by your husband here. I mean, I'm telling you, he's got the energy. He knows what he's looking at, knows the terminology.
Lindsay knows I watch wrestling a lot.
And
Ladies and gentlemen, referee
Let's go down to the ring
stop
announcer
to this
here.
contest at 2:14 in the second round, declaring your winner by submission, Anthony Marlowe.
Does he pronounce it at Merlot, like the wine?
Marlowe.
Merlot.
Well, he's from Kentucky. They're very sophisticated. They're north of here.
By the way, I meant to.
It was a great fight.
Just let's go down the
It
ring
looked like
again.
he was getting the best of you in the first round. He landed 3 significant head kicks. Second round, you came out, you kept your composure. You got a takedown early on, and then he ended up getting you down. But in the scrambles, you come out and landed a submission. How'd you prepare for this, and what all was on your mind?
Well, I'll say this. I chose to fight here because my father is a 100% disabled veteran. So this organization, for a first fight and any fight in general, he has been my hero my whole life. I figured this is a great place to start. So I just want to say that. Dad, if you're watching, I love you. This was for you. He was doing pretty good. Military training, everyone I train with, hard-headed, son. Hard-headed.
Great job keeping your composure. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Well, so just chatting with Chuck.
Wow, that was awesome.
Let's go back down
This
the ring.
night, the action is awesome so much. We're having a great night. All of y'all look so great.